Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Prep Talk. I'm Russ Robinson, voice of the Jackson Prep Patriots. Big show tonight. Lots going on the campus of Jackson Prep these days, and the kids have been hard at work getting some reports about what's going on in sports and other things. So tonight we are going to get a report on track, what's going on with track. Also, we've got kind of a year-to-date report. Anders Morgan is going to do that and bring us up to date because we're pretty much running out of sports toward the end of the year, but she's going to kind of bring us up to date as to where we are. And then also one group on campus that's very, very important, and it's just gaining momentum and speed all over high schools around Mississippi, is the FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And A.K. Allen will be giving us a report on Fellowship of Christian Athletes here on the campus at Jackson Prep. I've been involved in that organization a long time. It's a great organization, and it's very important to every high school campus in today's age. So a lot going on Prep Talk tonight. I want to thank Peter Downing for producing tonight. And of course, Bobby Gross and a lot of his JPTV kids will be doing these interviews and putting them together, editing them themselves, taking care of all the sound and all that goes with it. I mean, it's a wrapped up show by the time we get done, but Peter will be behind the control board today for tonight's edition of Prep Talk. So without further ado, Brent Hevner is also going to come in and talk baseball. Very interesting. They got a big tournament coming up down on the beach, and we'll be having him live here in studio to talk Jackson Prep baseball. All of that and more continues in a moment on Prep Talk.
There are all kinds of letters we need to remember, like ABC, ESPN. But here are some letters you need to remember as well. GAF. That is the best roofing products on the market today, and that's why David Wilbanks and Elite Roofing use GAF. When you deal with Elite Roofing, you know you're receiving the best product, best installation, and best warranty in the market. Call Elite Roofing at 601-856-9426. So when it comes to your roof, you are the letters
Southern Ag Credit has been financing life outside the city limits for over a century. Whether it's helping families own land they can grow with, or farmers manage the land they grow on, Southern Ag Credit specializes in financing life outdoors. Let us finance your rural dream. Visit us online at southernagcredit.com.
Jennifer Mooneyham and the staff at For the Family Healthcare provide personalized healthcare for all ages in a comfortable environment. With a new address at 112 Lake Vista Place in Brandon near Community Place Retirement Home, it is convenient to residents in both Madison and Rankin counties. Health services include anything from wellness checks to the treatment of acute and chronic illnesses. Visit For the Family Healthcare for all of your healthcare needs. For the Family Healthcare, 112 Lake Vista Place, Brandon, Mississippi.
The Rogue includes an in-store support of clothing, sportswear, and furnishings. They also provide made-to-measure services for suits, sport coats, pants, and shirting. They have 3 in-house tailors to provide any alterations suitable for your clothing needs.
The Rogue has been dressing men and families in Jackson for over 50 years. Owned by a prep graduate, The Rogue supports Jackson Prep. Come by today and see the latest trends.
Located at 4450 I-55 North, Jackson, or visit our website at therogue.com.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. We're talking baseball because a lot of baseball is going on tonight. When you talk baseball at Jackson Prep, you got to start with Brent Hevner, who's the head coach of the Patriots. And, last year's team, every year's team has a different personality. They've got different athletes. Some years you have good pitching, but bats are a little quiet. Some years you have great bats, but the pitching's a little questionable. Looks like to me this year you got a combination of both.
Yeah, personality is a really good word to use when it comes to baseball players. But it's a lot of fun to kind of watch this team. We've said a lot in the office that this team probably has more depth pitching. We've had some really good pitchers come through here,
right.
But we've probably got more depth on the mound than we've had in several years. And even though we've had some bigger home run hitters and bigger hitters in the past, this team, it's going to rival a lot of teams as a team for just how well they're hitting. Because I'm going to tell you, they have come out of the gate and they are not going to cover off the baseball right now.
Well, and everybody expects that pretty much from Connor. I mean, because his reputation precedes everywhere he goes. But what they're surprised at is a kid like Kevin Rogers, who hit one out the other night.
Right, and Kevin's come along and he's doing well. He's a ninth grader. He's kind of getting some spot playing time, and he's taking advantage of it. And I've heard you say it many times. Duncan does what Duncan does, and he does. And when you have a kid like that and lead off, it kind of kicks it off. It gets guys like Matthew Cochran and Reeves going, and Trey Bryant's been a good addition to our lineup, and we're proud of him. Cole Gideon really kind of showed you what he's capable of this past weekend, and Peyton Buckett from the time we got back from Christmas. Peyton's just kind of been very consistent. But you're also seeing guys, Andy Brown's been really consistent and, like what he's doing. And you got some other guys that are going to come along. Gardner Young, get him healthy and get him going. And, Busby and Connor just kind of picked up where they left off last year.
Well, last night, of course, we played Central Hines, and it was an 11-2 win. But it was one of those games that after 3 innings, it allowed you to get these other kids in. And I'm not saying we were surprised by anything, but it just seemed like everybody was coming out of the dugout, was hitting a baseball. You had super play both in the infield and the outfield. And you're developing this depth that you've always wanted in a baseball team, and you're getting to do that this year.
Well, and it was fun to watch. We got back last night or this morning, and Coach Powell made the comment. He said the team that ended the game last night would start for a lot of people around us, and that shows just how much depth we have at Prep right now, and that's a good thing. But it can also be frustrating to some of the players as well, and they've got to kind of keep doing what they're doing and keep working. But I was really proud, as I said on the air last night, to see a lot of guys get some innings, get some work in, get some at-bats, get some ground balls and fly balls. And that may come in, and that may play an important role later in the year.
I would assume as head coach of a program like this, you're concerned about wins and losses, obviously. You're concerned about injuries. You're concerned about batting averages or in pitching ERAs. But to me, one of the challenges for you would be to get all of these kids in a game and keep these kids that aren't starting, pepped up and revved up about when they do get in.
Well, and that's what we tell them all the time. You got to take advantage of the opportunities you get when you get a chance to get out there. And that's what's important, because it comes down to you got to practice every day, and you got to show us what you got in practice. If you get opportunity in JV games, you got to do it then. And then when you get your opportunities, you got to continue to do that. And you're starting to see that more and more, and that creates great competition within your team. But it also shows you just how good we can be and how much depth we have on this team.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the depth at catcher last night, because you know what Duncan does, but you had a couple of new ones. McCain was back there, and then also Thomas Cross was back there, and all three have the ability to throw runners out and to get down in and spot that pitch. I thought they did a great job last night.
They really did, and they all three do a good job with their pitchers, and it really just kind of comes down to, with Cam and with Cross, who's hitting a little bit better, and and trying to be more consistent, and they both kind of understand that role too, because behind the plate they do a good job.
Right.
We've been very lucky with Reed and Eli and Duncan over the last several years, but it just shows you too, those guys are right there with them. And it's nice to have that behind the plate with the pitching we got.
Brent, one of the series that we were looking most forward to was the Hoover tournament, and Perfect Game had out there. And, the first day, weather was terrible. We were late getting our game on. Guys had to wait in the bus, whatever. We can make all kinds of excuses, but the bottom line is we lost the baseball game. Tell me your thoughts on that baseball game.
Well, we didn't do a good job, starting with myself, of being ready to go. We've got to make sure we get out on the field no matter what happens. There were some things around us that didn't go the way we wanted it to, but we've got to be able to overcome that. Good teams overcome stuff like that. And the other thing they did is they played well. They threw strikes, and just like everybody else we play, they wanted to beat Prep. There's a lot of buzz around Jackson Prep baseball and the national rankings and the state rankings. So teams know who we are, and they know that. But the thing I'm most proud of, the guys could have just said, well, that runs our weekend.
Right.
And we could have snowballed, but we didn't. We battled back, and we ended up having a good weekend.
a long weekend, we might add. I don't think I know I've never called a game at 2 o'clock in the morning. I doubt you've coached one unless it was one of those softball tournaments that go way into the night. But bottom line was we started late, 11:15. That means we're going to end late.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I've been past midnight once, and Powell talked about calling the Mississippi State game one year there when it lasted so long. But I was proud. We had a lot of energy in dugout.
Yes.
And you tip your hat to the guys. We played a really solid baseball team, and we played a good baseball game, and I was proud of them. So the chicken biscuits from Whataburger were really good at 3 that morning.
The pillow was even better.
That's true. And then, it was an early start because, you got to turn around and get ready to play the next day.
Right.
And the next day was impressive because the guys came out with energy the next day. And we finished what we set out to do. We won 2 out of 3, and I always tell the guys this time of year, you win 2 out of 3, the rest of the way you're state champs again.
You're exactly right. So, that's what I've been hearing ever since you've been here, and it's been true every year. You had some great games last weekend, but you've got some really tough games coming up this weekend at the Beach Bash, which I can't remember what the one game we've lost that I've done, I think may have been George County a couple of years ago. And we got them on the schedule this weekend, which was good. But there's some really solid teams down there. It gives us a chance to see people we won't see during the regular year.
Right. And we're excited about it. I think we've gone undefeated the last 2 years down there. And so, we really want to see how we battle. It's a big week for our program kind of come together, but we'll start off with MUS, who we got them a little bit last year, but Coach Jernigan does a great job with that team, and it's a very historic team from up there. Absolutely. Yeah. And then we're going to play a team out of Florida, St. John Newman, that we've never played. So we've learned a little bit about them over the last couple of weeks. And then we're going to play Lafayette, and we're going to play George County. All good quality opponents, and it'll kind of let us dig into our pitching a little bit. Let's see what it looks like coming out of the week, but it gives us a chance to get better. JV will play a game on Monday, so it's another big week, and then we're going to go to the Romanos and eat, and then we'll take a few days off and come back, and it'll be really time to focus in.
Well, you mentioned the pitching and the JVs. First of all, we're going to stream that JV game, and I'm going to call it because we feel like the kids get down there. It's something that we need to do. But pitching is the key, I think. And I've always said that if you had 3 hurlers that could go on a team that you felt like you had a shot at winning that baseball game every time they took the mound, you wouldn't have to worry about 2 out of 3. You could win 3 out of 3 a lot.
Right.
How are you in your rotation this year?
Well, I think we're going to be really good. The key is kind of getting it the way we want it, and we don't really know that answer completely. We do see, Connor does what he does,
right.
Kind of figure out where we want to fit him into that role. Mm-hmm. Kevin has been a really big surprise, not a surprise, but a really big pickup that he's added to our staff, totally. Especially as a young kid. Trey Bryant's been good on the mound. Busby and Gardner are coming back and getting healthy, and they're starting to feel good. We really like them. Ford and Cole, but then you also are starting to see that, hey, Reeves isn't terrible on the mound, and Matthew Cochran still gives us innings, on the mound. And then, just like McKinley last night, Lil Ham, as we all call him, like he gets out there and he competes, and, when you throw strikes, you really battle. So, William Seymour pitched well last night.
I thought he did too.
Yeah, and Charlie. So you've got more options where you don't feel like everybody's got to be on their A game every time they pitch.
But they're still in the back of your mind. You've got to have those 3 starters you think you can go to war with.
And I really think you're going to see, probably Kevin and Connor, and then that third row is going to kind of either fall, with Gardner or Busby, one of those, just kind of see how, we're really happy with our defense this year, playing really good defense.
Yeah.
So the less we can kind of take off the infield when we have to, we will.
Absolutely. Man, Kevin Rogers made 2 great defensive plays last night at third base. So, you've got, and to me, that makes him so much more effective on the mound, because if something's hit to that mound, he's going to get it.
Yeah, he really is. And, having a guy down there is big and tall and athletic as he is, has really helped us. And he and Trey both have really done a good job. When you lose a kid like Owen that just locked down third last year,
right.
It's nice to have 2 guys that can come in because they both pitch and you got some guys over there. And like I said, we've been more impressed with our defensive play this year, and we've got some depth to it. Christopher Maddox is getting back and getting healthy, and it's good to see him out there. And so we're really happy with the infield. Owen Ishii has done a great job for us DHing and playing first, and
had a great stab last night.
Yeah, had a great play. So it's not always easy making that lineup, but we feel like when we do make it, we're doing what's best for our program.
Well, there's no doubt about it. We got a big weekend coming up at the Bash. But before we get to that, you have the real game is on Friday with the paintball. That's a tradition now.
Yeah, it is. And, it's a lot of fun because it's just kind of a time to go out there and cut loose, and get after it. And, we talk all the time about the beach being kind of a team building, hotels.
Right.
But it kind of starts with paintball. It lets you get a little aggression out and you go out there and have a little fun. They shoot me and I shoot back. And, Romano's a big target everybody likes. And so it'll be a lot of fun, and hoping we can get out there and get after it. And that's just a good way to start spring break.
I don't think I'd pick on Jay Powell if I were in that ball game, but in that paintball game. Brent, you're doing a great job as always with this program. We're well known, and that's why we can't pick up games like tomorrow because people know about Jackson Prep, and you're the big reason that is happening. We will take a timeout. Lots happening tonight on Prep Talk. Back with more in a moment.
Part of the enjoyment for me is interacting with patients.
I feel like we form a close bond with the patient as they're going through their ailment, their surgery, and their recovery.
As well as the new building, we now have our own physical therapy and our own surgery center.
I think sometimes you take for granted how vulnerable patients are. Enormous amount of trust they're putting in us to do the right thing.
You want the people you're operating on to trust you, you want to become friends with them, and you want them to have a good outcome.
Here at Capital Ortho, we look forward to seeing you and treating you.
Since 1968, Ewing & Ray has been leading the way as the area's premier foundation repair company. With our state-of-the-art equipment, licensed professional engineers, and certified technicians, we are able to ensure the right solution with the best warranty in the business. Whether you have drainage problems, need foundation repair, or need a specialized foundation system installed, for over 50 years, Ewing & Ray is a trusted source to ensure your home or business is safe and stable for years to come. Contact us today by visiting our website or giving us a call.
You haven't had good chicken until you've had Super Chicks. Super Chicks is made with 0 preservatives, 0 phosphates, and 0 dyes. There are many sauce options and a fresh new frozen custard every week. Everything is made 100% cooked to order, so it's very fresh. There's also many fry options such as salt, rosemary pepper, sweet, and Cajun. And don't let me forget the loaded fries. Super Chicks is a great place for prep friends and family to connect after events. And it's so good.
The Tire Depot, with locations on Old Fannin Road in Brandon and on Terry Road in Byram, they're your neighbors and they appreciate your business. More than just a tire store, they offer alignments, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, shocks, struts, leveling kits, and a whole lot more. They are family owned and operated. All of their techs have 20 years or more of experience. The Tire Depot, owned and operated by a Jackson Prep family. Welcome back to Prep Talk. One sport that has really done well for Jackson Prep, but probably doesn't get the coverage that most regular teams get in other sports is track. As a matter of fact, if you go and you look at all those all sports trophies, a lot of times it's the track people who place and get us the points that help us win that award. And this year should be no different. Rusty and Marcus Thompson handle that program, and let's take a look at it right now.
Hello, I'm Coach Thompson, and I am the head boys track coach at Jackson Prep, and I have been coaching boys and girls track for 25 years in total. Here at Jackson Prep, I've been here 18 years, and I've been coaching the boys, and that includes the 7th through the 12th grade here at Jackson Prep. So when I first got here, the track program had really kind of been behind some of our competitor schools for a little while. We hadn't won the overall state track meet in about 8 years, and set out to kind of rebuild the program, got a bunch of kids involved, very excited. It took a couple years, but they bought into it. So the first 3 years I was here was 06, 07, 08. We finished second in the overall to JA with some very, very talented individuals, young men, and they kind of set the tone for the track program. And then the 4th year I was here, we were able to finally knock JA off during the regular season, and then we ended up winning the overall state track meet in 2009, and then we won it again in 10, then we won it again in 11. And then we've had some really, really good teams ever since. We haven't won it every year, but we've either finished first or second most years. Had a really good track team in 2013, and coming up a little bit short. Had a fantastic team in 15 and came up a little bit short. Then we won the overall in 16, won the overall in 17. Would have had a really, really fantastic team several years ago, and COVID knocked us out, and hated for that group. They didn't get to run, but we've been really good here lately. We haven't won in a couple of years the overall. We've had a really fantastic team though. We finished second 2 years ago with the most points that Jackson Prep's ever scored in an overall track meet. So we're really we're in good shape. This year's team, we're going to be pretty good. Junior high program's going to be pretty good. We got a lot of 8th and 9th graders that are in the junior high program, and I'm looking for that group to have a really good season. And then we've been really, really good on the track the past 2 years, and weren't quite as good in the field events. But this year we feel like field event wise we're going to be pretty good. So you know, we got to go out on the track and we got to do it, but I feel like we got a shot at having a pretty good season. My favorite event is the mile relay, and now I don't think that's probably not the favorite event for many of our track athletes, but mile relay, end of the meet, and it's you know, 4 guys or 4 girls. A lot of times the meet comes down to that race, and just the you know, the young men and women that go out, and that's kind of a guts race. It's not a fun race. You just got to have a lot of guts and go out and run that thing as hard as you can. And so that's probably my favorite race. You know, track on the boys' side, there's 18 different events, and you know, I don't know if I have any, you know, besides the mile relay at the end, any one favorite event. I like the hurdle events. We've always been good in the hurdles here at Jackson Prep. The 300-meter hurdles and the 110 high hurdles have won us a couple of state championships over the years, having multiple kids be able to compete in those events. I like the pole vault. We've been really good in the pole vault here several years in a row. We had a young man named J.C. Polk that was a 15-foot pole vaulter, but we also, when I first got here, had a young man named John McVeigh that was a 15-foot pole vaulter.
I'm Grace Atkinson. I'm with the girls track program, and I've been running track since I was in 6th grade, but I've been running track at Prep since I was in 9th. I do the open 800, the mile. I've done the 2 mile before, but I don't like it. The mile relay, and then the 3,200 meter relay, and I also triple jump. I'm a very competitive person, and so the competitive nature of track really, I guess, feeds that for me. I also love hanging out with some of my best friends are on the track team, and so it's always a good excuse to hang out with them and to be in the sun and to exercise and to use the talents that I have to the best of my ability. My favorite event is the 4x8, which is the 3,200 meter relay, and it's because, like I said, it's all my best friends, and we're getting to do the 800, but we get to pass off the baton, and especially in state meet, whenever we run against MRA, it's super competitive, and I usually get pushed around a lot, and I have to kind of fight around, but it's a lot of fun. Gets the adrenaline pumping.
I'm Paxton Thompson. I'm on the boys varsity track team, and I'm a sprinter. Well, I started in 7th grade, and then I didn't run again until 10th grade, and then since then I've been running 3 years, so I guess 4 years in total. And I run the 4x1, the 4x2, the open 400, and the 4x4. Track is the hardest sport to practice, and I think that if you're really trying to get faster, you're going to be laying on the ground a lot, which is kind of counterproductive. But I like track the most just because, like, being faster than somebody is the best feeling ever. Yeah, the competitive nature of track's awesome because, like, even in practice, you just feel bad when somebody beats you and, like, you're not crossing the finish line first. And then especially in the meets, like you're running as hard as you can and that adrenaline starts pumping and you just start running. And you know, if you don't win, you're mad, but if you win, you feel like you're on top of the world. We're going to Washington, so we're gonna be racing against a lot of smaller schools, but in track it doesn't really matter because all you gotta have is just a few fast guys. So I think it'll be pretty evenly matched. I think we'll win.
Visit Eric Stallworth at Acura of Jackson, 828 Adcock Street, Ridgeland, Mississippi, 601-978-2228.
Sometimes opportunities begin where the road ends, where pavement fades to gravel and the sounds of the city scatter in the breeze. This is life outside the city limits, made possible by financing from Southern Ag Credit. From farmstead to homestead and everything in between. Apply for your rural loan today at southernagcredit.com.
Hi, Chuck Smith here from Smith Brothers Body Shop. Smith Brothers has been proudly serving the Jackson metro area since 1946. We consider you to be our friend to ensure the best experience possible. If you've chosen a body shop in the past because they were right around the corner and had a bad experience or you've been treated poorly elsewhere, come see what a difference quality service can make at Smith Brothers Body Shop. Call us at 601-353-5217. At Smith Brothers, you're more than a number. Smith Brothers Body Shop, the best from us to you.
Visit your local Dunkin' at 403 Riverwind Drive in Pearl.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. Want to certainly thank Wilson Cotton for that report about track, and they're not the only thing that's going on right now. In fact, we've had sports going all since August with softball and football and basketball. And so we thought tonight would be a good idea to kind of give you a year in review up to where we are. And Anders Morgan put this together for Prep Talk to get us up to date on what's going on.
We're back.
Work it, make it, do it. Makes us harder, better, faster, stronger. That don't kill me, can only make us stronger. I need you to hurry up now, cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, cause I can't get much longer. Man, I've been waiting all night now, that's how long I've been on ya. I need you right now. Let's take this, haters. That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up now, cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, cause I can't get much longer. Man, I've been waiting all night now, that's how long I've been on ya. Me like right now. And she'll do anything for the limelight, and we'll do anything when the time's right. Baby, you're making it.
I've won 27 state championships, 14 on the boys' side.
I know I got to be right now, cause I can't get much longer. Man, I've been waiting all night now, that's how long I've been on ya. I need you right now. I need you right now. You know how long I've been on ya, since Prince was on Apollonia, since OJ had isotoners. Don't act like I never told ya. Don't act like I 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 told ya. Baby, you're making it.
I think we ain't done yet. I think we ain't done yet.
That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. how long I've been on ya. I've been on ya. Since Prince's on Apollonia. Since OJ had isotoners. Don't act like I never told ya. You know how long I've been on ya. Since Prince was on Apollonia. Since OJ had isotoners. Don't act like I never told ya.
Coverage on the NAIS Championship Network. Phenomenal crowd support tonight from both sides. And ironically, it's been red.
Cole fight for the rebound. Seagrass. Pull it. Back out to Liz. He'll pull the trigger for three. Boom! In the corner. Luke is there. And he just came right back to him, and he let him move to the basket. He's able to drop it in. 4-2. CCA leads it. DJ, he'll fire a three. Locked up, face guard with sights. And then everybody else is just kind of playing like a zone a little bit. Well, that is Connor's fourth rebound here in the first. Here's Luke. Out to Lee Blair. His jump comes. Let's go! Here's the drive. Connor off the glass. I don't need a 44 here with 3:28 to go.
Look, if you had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, in one moment that you captured, just let it slip. Yo. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, plow. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to this mobile home. That's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go capture this moment and hope it don't do better. Lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
What I want, looking ahead, no turning back. If I fall, if I die, know I lived it to the fullest. If I fall, if I die, know I lived in missing bullets. I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything that shine ain't always gonna be gold. I'll be fine once I get it. I'll be good. I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything that shine ain't always gonna be gold. I'll be fine once I get it. I'll be good.
Hello, I'm Jason Womack with Womack Auto Sales in downtown Brandon.
We've been here for 25 years, serving the community, and we plan on being here for another 25 years.
Came to Womack in Brandon. I was looking for a Tahoe. Walked in, the folks were good to me. Hey, look how I ended up leaving. New Tahoe.
Womack's Auto Sales helped me finance the truck of my dreams.
Come out and take a look at our new facility and meet our staff.
Take exit 56 to downtown Brandon. And remember, at Womack's, your job is your credit.
Malone is a company in motion, delivering award-winning roofing, metal walls, and maintenance. with the use of Suprema products like Alsan liquid flashings, Alsan coating products, and more. Malone continues to prove there is nothing we can't accomplish. Protecting people and what matters to you.
At Community Bank, we're always by your side. From keeping your money secured to making payments a breeze.
Hey, do you have a medium in the pantry? Right here. It's $24. Enjoy the show.
And giving you peace of mind when you need it most. So you can get back to enjoying the show. Community Bank, a bank like no other.
16 speakers, 272 horsepower.
Visit Eric Stallworth at Acura of Jackson, 828 Adcock Street, Ridgeland, Mississippi, 601-978-2228.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. You know, as long as I can remember, even back when I was in school and probably further back than that, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been a very important part of any high school campus. We probably have one of the strongest chapters for the state of Mississippi, possibly in the country. We have great leadership and great leaders in these high schools in the FCA. A.K. Allen wanted to put a piece together for tonight so we can find out what's going on at FCA at Jackson Prep.
Hey, my name is Raylan McKinney, and I lead FCA here at Jackson Prep.
I'm Duncan Matthews, and I'm one of this year's FCA leaders.
Rayleigh, what is FCA? FCA is called Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Basically, it's just trying to kind of find God, like not like while kind of like in life, but also lead on the field and off the field if you play a sport.
FCA is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, so it's something that we do every week. We'll have a guest speaker that comes in and just come and talk about the Word to us, and it helps a lot of us be able to follow God, and just allows us to be able to connect to Him in a school platform. So just being able to know that we have that every week, and just for somebody else to come spread the Word to us is really cool for us.
What is your involvement in FCA? So I'm the head FCA leader here, so I schedule meetings, try to find speakers, and then I have kind of get fellow leaders before the school year begins to kind of line up some help throughout the year.
So I'm one of the leaders this year as a senior. I have a big involvement, so I'll go up during Pursuit. Whenever we did Pursuit this year, some of the leaders went up and spoke, and I was one of them. I shared my word and kind of described what God has done to me in my life this year. And so I have to kind of take initiative and just show these younger people that do come to FCA just what it's all about and how you're supposed to be able to follow Him and what right things you're supposed to do.
How has FCA helped you become a better Christian athlete? I think FCA has made me become a better athlete because when I first began at FCA, I didn't really realize what it was like to also share my faith and like perform with my faith on the field. And I almost thought that it was just kind of like that it was impossible to do it on the field. So being involved with FCA and hearing speakers and just the leaders that lead outside of like the school and the head of the FCA corporation, it's like knowing that on the field we have a purpose, and it's not necessarily just playing that sport, but it's also to share the gospel and grow with Him while also leading others to Christ.
Yeah, it has, because sometimes it feels like you're kind of separating yourself away from God sometimes, because you have a lot of other important things that you have to do. You have school, you have sports, you have practice, you have games, a lot of different things that you have to do during the school day and throughout the week. And so it's really good to be able to come here and just relax for a little bit during that 45-minute period that we have during activity, and just to know what He's doing for us every single day and how we're supposed to take His role and His path for what He's done for us.
Do you enjoy doing FCA, and will you continue to do something like it in college? Yes, I love FCA, and actually my college doesn't have an FCA because it's a Christian school, so we have chapel and stuff, but there's many opportunities to lead as a chapel leader and small group lead. So yes, I will continue doing that in college.
I enjoy it a lot. I want to be able to join some group at South Alabama whenever I get there. Hopefully the baseball team's got something FCA based, and I would love to be able to take a role in that whenever I do get there. And I've been really appreciative of FCA here, and I've understood what it's all about here. So I hope I'm able to have that opportunity whenever I go to South Alabama next year, and just being able to keep following his word on the school basis.
And how do you get students involved in FCA? I try to make them just know that like it's welcoming. You don't necessarily have to be an athlete to join, because we just want people to come and get to know Christ with everybody else. So I just like to share the word, spread on Instagram, social media, have the leaders always bring their friends, and just tell anybody who I can if there's an awesome speaker coming to come listen. All right.
Things, we'll tell our friends about it. We'll post on social media. We have a social media page, FCA Jackson Prep. We'll post on that every single week. Rayla McKinney is really the one that's in charge of everything. She's the one that gets everything out there. She posts everything. She even speaks sometimes, and she's the one that gets the speaker there most of the time. So it's really just about telling your friends when they come, and it's not a huge group that comes every single week, but we have some really good speakers that come. We've had Jake Mangum come, and a lot of different pastors around the area that have come and spoke to us. So it's something that's really good for us, and it's something I've taken advantage of over the past couple of years, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity.
All right, thank you.
I'm Marcus Kanoy. I've been teaching here at Prep for 5 years. I've been here a year before prior to that. I've also pastor at, I'm doing an interim right now at Twin Lakes Baptist Church, and I've been a pastor for about 17, 18 years, and I teach 2 biblical study classes here at Jackson Prep.
What is FCA?
It's the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. It was designed for a place for athletes to go and be able to bond with one another around the Word of God, and to, if they have problems, be able to talk those out with team leaders, whether it be a coach or other players. And that's kind of how it got started, and that's how it's supposed to be working here at Jackson Prep.
What's your involvement in FCA?
Let's see, it's a little tricky. I speak whenever they need a speaker, and I go anytime I have the opportunity to go. It's a little difficult coaching junior high sports too, because we'll kind of have practice during the time that they meet. But and I try to advise anybody that has questions. I've been close to Coach Bennett, who's kind of our FCA, I don't know his exact title, but he's over the Jackson, Clinton area. And I forget what. Okay, yeah, I speak when I need to, and then I also been asked. I lead coaches FCA huddle, and we'll meet once every 2 or 3 weeks, and it's just a time for the coaches to get together and go over God's word and talk and just see if we have any problems we want to talk about or work through.
What's your favorite part of doing FCA?
The interaction with you guys. I mean, that's the best part, and being able to help if someone's going through a difficult time and maybe they don't want to talk right that moment with friends or maybe even parents, and you can kind of step in and give them some good godly advice on how to handle these situations and point them in the direction of God, and then back to their parents to help handle the situation they're going through.
And how do you get students involved?
That's a tricky one, because, and it's not because students don't want to be involved. Jackson Prep's just a real busy place. I mean, you guys are, the curriculum, the classes you're taking are unbelievable. The extracurricular stuff from the athletics, it's just hard to find the time. But the biggest thing is coming from students talking to other students, saying, hey, why don't you come to FCA? We got a great speaker this week, or get a friend that they know is going through a difficult time and walk with them through that, and that will help bring them into the fold. But the biggest thing is just word of mouth and then building relationships with one another.
All right, thank you, sir.
Ferguson and Associates Architecture is a new generation architectural firm that combines state-of-the-art ideas and solutions with years of experience managing demanding projects. As a full-service architecture firm, Ferguson and Associates provides a complete range of architectural services. They plan, design, and manage the build. From creative concept to ribbon cutting, they're there to ensure your success. Visit their website at fergusonarchitecture.net for more information, or contact them directly at 601-607-7933.
Rainey's Carpet Care is a locally owned and operated business that's been providing quality service to Central Mississippi since 1986. They offer 24-hour emergency water damage services, mold and mildew treatment, carpet care, pet odor removal, air duct cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, Oriental rug cleaning, carpet stretching and repair, upholstery cleaning. They offer it all. Visit them online at raineyscarpetcare.com or call today at 601-956-1515.
Jackson Healthcare for Women is Mississippi's premier provider of comprehensive OB/GYN care with extensive experience in the latest surgical techniques and services for women, including cool sculpting, Mona Lisa Touch, ideal protein, robotic surgery, pelvic floor dysfunction, and more. Our award-winning physicians are accepting new patients and are eager to care for you. Same-day appointments are available. Call us at 601-936-9190 or visit our website to learn more. Jackson Healthcare for Women, inspired by you.
Slava's Grill, open weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. and on Saturdays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And make sure to check out the lunch menu.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. That's going to put a wrap on tonight's show. Big thanks again to Peter Downing for producing and A.K. Allen for her report, Wilson Cotton and Anders Morgan, and then having Coach Brent Hebner come in and talk about baseball. They do have a big tournament coming up. It's called Beach Bash. The last 2 years, Jackson Prep's gone undefeated in that tournament, and then when they got to the MAIS conference schedule, they really turned on the afterburners, and you know what that means. It means state champions again, and that's certainly what our goal is. But it always starts with a paintball war. That's on Friday, and they get a big kick out of that, and it kind of prepares them for the rest of the season. They bond, they get to know each other, and Coach Hebner will be in studio, came in studio tonight to talk to us about that and his aspirations for this team, and they're always what they always are, and that's a state championship here at Jackson Prep. That's it for tonight. We'll see you next week on Prep Talk.